Hey, in this video I'm going to show you how I went about building the sliding mechanism that I have my launch monitor on, as well as the automation pieces that I built. So I'll show you what I did, and hopefully this is beneficial for someone else out there. So full disclosure, I'm not an electronics person. I've never done robotics or anything like this before. This was largely with the help of my good buddy Claude.ai. So if you haven't checked him out, hit him up. He's a good guy and has a lot of information. But basically I just started some Googling, asking a couple of the different AI engines around for ideas about how I would go about doing this, and was able to get it to fully function and work. So I'll show you, first we'll go upstairs and show you how things are working up there, and then I'll cover some of the components here at the PC and the software that's running on my PC as well, that's reading from the screen of GSPro to identify when it needs to move the launch monitor back and forth. So up here at the launch monitor, you can see the actuator here. So this is just a simple linear actuator. And here you can see the wire that runs down to the electronics that we'll get to here in a moment. But I'll try and show you some of the track system here and what I've got the launch monitor installed on. And here's just an angle from the top of the launch monitor showing some of the attachments and the trolley that the base plate is attached to. And here's a view of the Unistrut channel from the other side. Just kind of trying to show you how this is all mounted in there and attached together. So there's another trolley on this end that the launch monitor is attached to, so it slides along nice and smooth. If anyone's curious, off the back here I have a simple laser that I purchased off of Amazon. And so then what I did was I used that to do an alignment aid, so that down on my putting surface as well as my hitting surface, you can see it projects a line down there, and it does not actually interfere with the launch monitor whatsoever, because it doesn't actually see it because it's looking through the infrared cameras there. So down here at the computer is where the electronics pieces are, and I'll zoom in here so you can get a closer look at what's going on. So here in the back we have a USB isolator. Here in the middle is the Arduino Uno, and then this unit here is a BTS 9660, I believe, that's actually doing the power switching. So the USB connection from the computer comes into this unit, which then routes the connection over to the Arduino. That was necessary because I was getting electrical interference when the actuator was running. That was causing the computer to lose its connection to the Arduino. So that's just isolating out some of that electrical interference noise out of the connection. And then the Arduino is powered through its own 12-volt power supply through the barrel connector here. Ignore the terrible soldering and crimping job there. So this is where the logic resides in terms of which direction the actuator needs to move. And then there's some LED lights here kind of dangling off the side. You can ignore those, but they just indicate whether the device is in the left or right hand position, or if it's thought to be moving. So that was useful during troubleshooting. And then the Arduino is connected to this unit that's actually then through these wires going up to the actuator and driving the left and right movement on that unit. This has its own dedicated power supply. Now I chose to go with this adjustable power unit here. The actuator is rated for a 12-volt rating, but in some of my research it indicated that I could actually make it move a little bit faster if I increase the voltage. So I went with something that I could play with and adjust that voltage to make it go faster and actually prove that that was correct, and it in fact is. So if you're going to go this route, you certainly don't need to go with this adjustable unit here. You could just get a dedicated 12 or 16 volt or whatever rating you think you would be needing for your setup. And here I'll walk through the software pieces. So here I'm starting a program that's going to be doing screen monitoring of GSPro. So it's just going to run in the background, and we'll get GSPro up and running here. And then that automatically launches the ProTVX connector. So we'll start up ProT Labs and get it connected to my launch monitor here in a second. All right, so we are now connected, and then we'll get back to GSPro and start our match here. So we'll just pick the hay, we'll add a left-handed and right-handed player, I of course being the left-handed player. And now once GSPro starts up, that program that's running in the background is programmed to specifically monitor the bottom right corner where I have my handedness indicator. So here you can see the program has detected LH for left hand, and it knows that we are already in the default position of left hand. And when I toggle this to RH, you can see it's picked that up and now sent a command to the Arduino, which is then triggering the movement of the actuator over to the other side. Mine's traveling about 28 inches or so, and at my current speed rating of voltage, that takes about 18 seconds. So that covers all of it. I'll leave links to the different components and pieces that I used in my build. Hopefully that it's useful for someone out there. Again, full disclosure, first time I've done something like this, so, be kind in the comments. But if you have any questions, feel free to drop me a line and I'll try to respond to them as quickly as I can. Thanks.